some reaction. And I guess I've taken things a little too far at times, and I'm going to try to work on that and do better. I just want to apologize to anybody whose feelings got hurt or whatever. I'm not here to try to be an antagonist.
Right. And, I appreciate that, and everybody out there does, I guess. I think that I've been taking some, what do you call it?
Heat from people over me? I get it.
What's the word? Been saying it all week. I can't think of it now, but.
Well, specifically Anderson County, I sincerely apologize. And I used a word to describe Wartburg that I shouldn't have. I'll just say I love to beat Wartburg. I don't necessarily hate anybody. I got carried away in my emotions that night, and I apologize. And like I said, I'll try to work on it and do better in the future.
I think the comments you made, you said Anderson County lost another game. I don't think it's not what you said, but maybe how you said it. But, you know, Anderson County's got a really good team. You know, they got an outstanding team. And, you know, they've lost 2 games. They lost to 2 really good teams. So
yeah, that Powell Central game really made Anderson County look a lot better. And Anderson County showed a lot of character in that Powell game, even though they lost, man, because Powell come out on fire, firing on all cylinders on some big plays to start that game. And, I mean, Anderson County could have packed their bags and went to the locker room, put their tails between their legs, but they come out and played a heck of a second half of football and just come up short in the end. And, yeah, I didn't in any way mean to take anything away from those kids. They played excellent, hard-nosed football, and I didn't see any of the South Dual game. So, but I understand that, you know, it was a hard-fought game too.
Mm-hmm. Well, they've got 2 losses by a total of 3 points. I haven't seen the polls this week. Try to look those up here in a little bit. But Powell, they played Central, was number 1 in 5A. Powell may be number 1 now. I'll have to check on that. And then South Doyle's really been playing well since they lost to Grace. And
Powell beat the brakes off Central, man. I mean, it was a very one-sided affair.
Yes, they did. And this past week, Anderson County defeated Howard 42-0. So I've actually seen more Anderson County games this year than I have Clinton.
Well, Clinton's been out for 2 weeks.
Right, well.
So that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But now they're coming back to a big one this week.
Mm-hmm. I've been to 4 Anderson County games, and I think the only one I missed was down at Hickson. But the BBB game of the week, TV Channel 12, will be Oak Ridge at Clinton this Friday night, and hopefully the rain will get through here tomorrow night, and it'll be clear for Friday night. And you know, the Dragons, as you mentioned, have been off for 2 weeks, COVID-19 caution. So I'm sure Coach Keith is ready, and his players are ready to get back, play some games. And I know they started back practicing. I think it was Saturday. They were able to start back last Saturday, so
they should be good and healthy.
They should be healthy and healed up. They had any injuries, any minor injuries, so
you know for a fact they're going to be fired up for this game. I mean, does it get any bigger than Clinton Oak Ridge around here? I mean, as far as the big schools go in our area, that's as big as it gets.
Yeah, it's an old rivalry. You're going back. Talked to David Clary before I come in. You know, it's been sort of one-sided over the last the years. I know Oak Ridge is coming in on a 10-game winning streak over the Dragons. Clinton's last win was 2009. Actually won in 2008 and 2009 over Oak Ridge. And the 2009 win was at Oak Ridge. And those wins at Oak Ridge are few and far between for Clinton. I think the last one before that was 97, and before that you have to go back into the 40s or 50s.
That far?
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's.
Have they played every year?
Not every year. They took about 10 years off. They were in the 60s from 58, and they renewed the series back in 1970. Started playing each other again, and they have played since then. So they have played for the last 50 years.
Man, that's a one-sided scoreboard right there.
Well, it has since I could tell you the Clinton wins in the series.
Are they in double digits? Wins?
Yes.
Okay.
I think David said they had 12 wins.
Okay.
Oak Ridge has, I think, maybe 37. I'm not sure, but this really took off. There in the 70s, I think from 72 to 86, Oak Ridge had a 14-game streak. And that's the first time that the rivalry really, separated, and Clinton got the win. Well, they're in 86 to snap that streak. So
and jobs in that period in Oak Ridge were coming on hot too. So anytime you've got economic boom, you're going to have an influx of new people. So I'm sure the school system got a little larger in that time.
Oak Ridge had some state championships there, I think.
I don't know this to be fact, but didn't they be competitive? Weren't they competitive for like a national championship once?
Oak Ridge, yeah, I believe it was 58. I think they were
awarded the national championship in high school football.
I believe so.
I thought I'd heard that, but I couldn't remember exactly. All right. Go ahead, caller. You're on there.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the air.
No, is that it?
Go ahead, caller. You're on the locker room chat.
Sleepy.
Yeah.
Hey, I think Clinton gonna win 35-7 Friday night.
Think Clinton's gonna win 35-7?
Yeah, and Saturday 45-17. We will win.
Tennessee 45, South Carolina 17.
Yeah.
Now that is an optimistic fan.
Well, Anthony, I hope you're right.
I will.
That score with Clinton, I don't know about that. I'll take a 1-point win. I'll take any kind of win, but I don't know about a 28-point win.
We might. You never know.
For that to happen, that rain's going to have to stick around, I believe. That ball bounces funny way when it's wet.
Yep, you're right about that one.
What do you think about your fantasy team this week? How you going to do?
I don't know about that one yet.
You're playing Sleepy's Legend, so...
I know. I can't believe I'm playing you.
I'm in first place, and you're sort of down there at the bottom, so maybe, you never know. You got Aaron Rodgers, so he might work some magic.
He might. You never know.
Well, we appreciate you calling in.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great night.
I know what word I was thinking of. Collateral damage is what I...
Collateral damage?
What I took off
of me.
Your comment last week.
So you've been doing damage control all week.
I've been doing damage control. I defended you. I mean, I was saying I condone bashing kids, and we never bash kids on here, and never will. But we know kids make up the teams, and
that's right. Well,
I know where they're coming from, but it's just a show, and you're just trying to have a good time, get some callers in, and help the ratings out. But it may have backfired a little bit, but we've got love for all the teams in our area. No doubt about that.
So speaking of teams in the area we need to give some love to, Oliver Springs got them a big one Friday.
What is a big win? Coach Green.
See, that's another one. I hope Coach Green ain't mad at me, because I said I am tired of picking Oliver Springs and them losing. I wasn't trying to bash on kids, and I was just trying to get Coach Green fired up if anybody told him. But, hey, something positive come out of that one way or another. Oliver Springs put a butt whooping on Greenback.
They had some bulletin board material of themselves. The Greenback coach, I think it was in the Daily Times, said it wasn't a rivalry. Said they had outscored Oliver Springs 88-0 last year, and wasn't worried about them, and didn't consider it a rivalry. So that was.
Now, how does the head coach of an 0-3 football team come out and say something like that? Right. It just makes no sense to me.
No, that's he really crossed the line with those comments, but it was Oliver Springs. It was their first win over Greenback, and it was a big win not only for that, but in the region.
It's a region win too.
Region win, and
all you got to do is finish in the top 4 to get a playoff spot.
You're right, and it was Oliver Springs' first win, and if I'm not mistaken, it was their first region game.
Let's see, they
started out with Oneida.
Oneida's not a region game. Then they had to play William Blunt because of COVID.
Rockwood.
And they played Rockwood, which
AA.
Rockwood just come Katie bar the door that night. That little boy from Rockwood was on fire that night. He was like a jitterbug out there. They couldn't tackle him. And then they come to play against Greenback. Maybe they were saving it. They didn't want to show everything they had until they got into region play, because, in all reality, region play is all that matters when it comes to the playoffs.
And I watched that game on Channel 12, and they was playing some defense. They really shut down Greenback, and looking at the Oliver Springs had a pretty good game on the ground. They had 211 yards rushing, led by Gavin Hill, had 161 yards on 20 carries, and even the quarterback, Zach Elliott, had 2 rushing TDs, and he had a touchdown pass to Lamance.
Hey, if you can average 8 yards a play, why would you do anything else?
Right.
I mean, 20 carries, 161 yards. That's PlayStation numbers.
That's what Coach Gaddis was talking about on his show. He was wanting to get back to running the football, and Oak Ridge is having trouble running it. Last week against West, of course, just about everybody has trouble against West, but Oak Ridge is a much better team than their record.
I would agree with that, yes. And the thing about establishing the run, you got to have that mindset going in, because you can't be trying to establish the run down 21 points, because then, you got to get points. Now, that's one thing Anderson County did, though. They were down at halftime, and it looked like Powell was bigger, stronger, faster across the board in the first half. And I don't know what kind of switch flipped in Anderson County in the second half of that game, but they come out and took control of the line of scrimmage.
Yes, they did. Gavin Noe had a big game. That game also, this last week, rushed 5 times for 51 yards, had a touchdown and 2 tackles, also a sack and an interception. Anderson County started a new quarterback against Howard, the sophomore Walker Martinez.
Mm-hmm.
He ended up had 177 yards passing and 2 touchdowns in his first start.
First start, and he's a sophomore.
And a sophomore.
Wow. 2 more years of that to go.
Right.
Did they have a returning quarterback coming back from last year?
Yeah, Stone Hatmaker. He's a senior. He started last year, and he had started up until last week, and Coach Gillum has, decided to put the sophomore in. I don't know if that's permanent. He was just experimenting, I believe, a little bit and giving him some experience. And
If you've got a senior that started for 2 years, he's got a spot somewhere on that offense to help you one way or another. So.
Right, Hatmaker came in, even threw a touchdown pass. They even played Jacob Brock, sort of like a wildcat package.
Mm-hmm.
Came in and he performed well.
I bet that was fun to watch.
Oh yeah, they scored 21 points is right off the bat in the first quarter. Added 21 more in the second quarter, and the player of the game was Josh Godwin Miller. He had like 3 touchdowns, and looking here on the stats, caught 8 passes for 144 yards and 2 touchdowns, and had a rushing touchdown as well. So
putting up some numbers. I'm surprised he wasn't nominated for something on there. Mm-hmm. You want to get that?
Yeah. Go ahead, caller. You're on the locker room chat.
What's going on tonight, guys?
Hey, what's up, Queener?
What's going on, Queen Bee?
Not a lot, man. Hey, Eric, hang in there, buddy.
Good, brother.
Worse than you've had. They wanted to lynch me down there a couple times in Oak Ridge, so.
Do what now?
Over. Do what?
I didn't hear you.
I said, hang in there. I know you're good enough to know that you weren't trying to bash anybody, but, sometimes people get upset. And like I said, they wanted to lynch me a couple times.
Well, oh, yeah, you ain't afraid to say what you think. But you're on Friday.
I do say what I think. If a coach has done a bad job, I say that. But in retrospect, I know it's a touchy situation. So, but anyway, I understand what's going on. So,
right.
John, I think if you look at the polls this week, I think West is number 1 and Powell is number.
West has gone up to number 1.
Yes. Powell is number 2.
Powell's number 2. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's going to be a heck of a
Central,
showdown.
I think, dropped to number 4.
Who's that? Central?
Central.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Central dropped to 4. I don't know if you watched the game Saturday night or not. I was not. And I was not impressed with Central at all. I understand they got some people that's banged up a little bit, but to be the number 1 team in the state, man, I wasn't really impressed with them. West might be the best 5A football team right now around here in the area.
Yeah, I watched the show Friday night, and I know you said you wasn't really impressed with West against Oak Ridge, and I wasn't either. They put the ball on the ground and snapping it over the quarterback's head, and they could have put Oak Ridge away, but they let the Wildcats hang around. It was a 6-point game there in the fourth quarter.
It was, and really, if you really want to think about it, the sleeper team could be South Dole. There is something about a kid they're using, and apparently they only use this young man in the second half, from what I've been told. And he lights out in the second half. I don't understand. I don't know if he's nervous or something, or he's just a weapon they use in the second half. But he's running back. I think his number's 21, maybe. I don't know his name, but everybody's talking about him, and they say all this damage he's done in the second half because that's when he plays.
Right. I believe you're talking about Sean Gary. And he had a big second half against Anderson County. He led that comeback against the Mavericks. And then, as you mentioned last week against Sevier County, he had over 200 yards rushing. So I didn't know he was just playing in the second half. But Coach Duncan, he's found him a running back, it looks like.
Yeah, that's what me and Cox is the one that told me they only play him in the second half, and nobody really understands why. But maybe there's a reason that he's playing in the second half, which, the way it looks right now, it's a really good reason that he's playing in the second half. Because, South Dole, since the Grace loss, as you said earlier, they've turned it around big time. And Eric, back to your comments about Coach Green. I talked to Coach Green Friday night on the show, and you're right. There wasn't a rivalry with Greenback and Oliver Springs. Greenback Greenback has, as John said earlier, 80-some points. That's correct. And I think what Oliver Springs done Friday night is they've made it a rivalry now. So they need to go the next time when they go to Greenback and win a game down there. And people doesn't think you can go to Greenback and win. Well, I say that's not right, because I've been with Cofield and Brad Jones when we've been down there, and Cofield has won games down there. Yes, it is a hard place to win, and it's intimidating as all get out. But you can't go to Greenback and win a football game.
We split with Greenback when I played, and the 2 games we won at Greenback. And the 2 games we lost at Cofield.
Yeah. So I think it's a rivalry now. Oliver Springs has played a couple tough, the COVID stuff. And, guys, I'm amazed that we're fixing to go in week 6. And I probably would have lost some money and said we probably won't make it till the halfway point. Some teams have not made it to halfway point. Clinton being one, Hall's been another one now, and some other teams. But I think we're lucky. And there's a lot of people doing what I ask every Friday night for them to do is wear a mask, social distance, and let's see if we can get high school football finished and make it for these young men. And that's been the key, I think.
Exactly. And we just hope everybody stays healthy. It seems like every week you see a team has to go through the protocol, but on Halls, as you mentioned, looks like they're going to miss this week and maybe next week. So.
Yeah, and I feel sorry for Halls, and it's not. I'm not a Halls fan or anything, and I'm not basketball. Nobody to think this. I feel sorry for them because their golf team apparently is a really good golf team. By not being in school, they couldn't play in the district or the region, which then knocked them out of the state. Not unless they got something worked out. As a Friday night, they wouldn't go get to play in the region, the district, and the region, I think.
Oh, they are?
So they're not. They were not going to get to play.
Oh.
And apparently they had a pretty good golf team, from what I understand, and was told. I hate that they didn't get to participate in that, and that's just because of COVID. But I hope Oak Ridge, hope Coach Gaddis takes it easy on Clinton Friday night. They're in a bad situation right now, being off for 2 weeks. And
right.
Hey, John, is the Thackerson kid back healthy to play, or do you know?
No, I don't believe so. The injury he has, he'll probably be out the remainder of the season. I think they're just Coach Locker just hoping to get him back for basketball. Actually spoke to Trace. He thought he'd be back for that, but I don't really see him returning for football.
Oh, okay. Well, it's bad. The Clinton's been off for the last couple of weeks. He's already on the gun a little bit, so maybe it'll be a respectful to get out and support Clinton Friday night, because it is a big game. I do not consider it a rivalry anymore just because it's so one-sided, and we'll see what maybe Clinton in the near future gets that thing turned around. Guys, you got a good show, and hang in there, Eric. You'll be all right, buddy.
Hey, thanks, Queener. See you, bye.
Thank you for calling in, David. And we're going to go ahead and take our first break, and we'll be right back here watching the Locker Room Chat.
Roan Metals Group has been serving East Tennessee for decades. Locally owned and operated with convenient hours of operation. Roan Metals buys all types of scrap metal. Nothing's too big or too small. Still have that clunker sitting around? We've been buying them for years. Roan Metals Group are specialists in industrial scrap. We have what it takes to get any size job done. Roan Metals urges you to recycle responsibly. Scrap with only licensed dealers. A member of the TSRA and the ISRI. Roan Metals Group. Turn that scrap into cash.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-thru for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family. Duff Subaru, providing exceptional customer service is what we do best, and we've got the awards to prove it.
We've been recognized as Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. And again this year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. At Earl Duff Subaru, we're more than just a car lot. We're a retailer you can love and one that gives back to local causes. Check out our reviews that come to Earl Duff Subaru in Harriman.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is your gift destination. Shop the new plush selection for that special someone. We have Bath & Body Works popular fragrances and custom gift baskets too. Live and Let Live has a wide selection of gift and home decor for any occasion, from yard flags to selected jewelry, plus much more. We have Big Orange giftware always available year-round. And don't forget to enjoy a soda fountain treat while you shop. Live and Let Live Drugstore, Gift Shop, and Soda Fountain in downtown Rockwood.
All right, welcome back, everyone, to the locker room chat. And David Queener just called in, mentioned the golf, boys and girls golf district and regions are going on or have occurred. You know, you got two different classes. You got the small class and the larger classes.
Right.
And right now, the smaller classes, they have completed their district and region. I think they're getting ready for the state coming up, and I've got some information for the golfers out there.
Do you think they'll find a way to get Halls able to play? I mean, if they're qualified and good enough, I mean, unless they've got somebody sick, I mean, shouldn't they be able to? I mean, you're on the golf course, you're outside.
I would think so. They're going virtual. The whole school is, so for whatever reason that knocks you out of athletics. I don't know. I don't understand that.
I don't either.
You would think the kids would be able to
still participate in sports.
Still participate, but apparently not. But I've got a lot of names here. I like to recognize their golfers in this area. And start out with the Kingston boys. They have advanced to the state tournament.
How many make it? And that Kingston, they're in that small group still, aren't they?
Yeah, they're in the small group, and they were runner-up last year in the state, and now they are going back to the state. So,
well, they got two nice golf courses down there in Kingston to play. They got Lakeside, which is small and short, but you can go down there and play and hone your skills. And then you got Southwest Point. Man, that thing is long. You got to be able to hit the ball and play down there.
Mm-hmm. I'd just like to recognize the Kingston boys. They're state-bound, District 4 and Region 2 champs. Blake Woody, he was the Region 2 individual champion, the low medalist. And the whole team's going to the state. Parker Jones, Brady Reynolds, Kobe Johnson, he was the 4th low medalist. And also Will Bacon. Kingston defeated Alcoa, Gatlinburg Pittman, and Rockwood to qualify for the state tournament. And they will be competing against these schools in the state: Milan, Stewart County, Clay County, Signal Mountain, North Green, Summertown, and Scotts Hill. So this is Kingston's 7th. It's their 7th region title and their 7th trip to the state tournament.
Is this like a bracket play, or do they play the same course, low man wins, and that's the way it's just?
Well, it's team. You know, you have your team. I think it's four players on each team, right. And whoever has the lowest score as a team wins the state.
I got you.
And at the same time, you have individual champions as well. You know how you compete. Right.
But it's not like football where you got this team plays that team to move on to place the winner of this team versus that team, and they're all in it on the same course at the same time.
Right, they all put them in together. And
I got you.
I believe it's over the course of a couple of days. I think it takes to finish. So it's their 7th. You know, they've won 3 state titles. No, they're looking for their 3rd state title. They were 99 and 2000 champs. As I mentioned last year, they were a runner-up and also were runner-up in 1998, and they finished third in 1997 and 2002. So Kingston boys over the last 20-some years are really an outstanding golf program.
Putting out some good players down there.
We had them in studio last year and may have them back.
Well, that game can make you madder than anything in the world. You want to get that one?
Let's get a call here. Go ahead, caller. You're on the locker room chat.
Yeah. This is Kyle Adams.
Hey, Kyle, how you doing?
Still there, Kyle?
I guess we lost him. Call us back, Kyle.
Also, the Kingston girls in golf, they were the District 4 champs and Region 2 runner-ups. They finished the record 34-3. That's the girls. I failed to mention the boys' record. They were 35-5-1. So both the Kingston girls and boys outstanding. I believe the Kingston girls, their season ended in the region. They were the Region 2 runner-up, but some of the girls on that team was Briley Krause, forgive me if I'm mispronouncing it, Megan Settles, Kaylee Lane. She was the Region 2 third place low medalist and advances to the state. So Kaylee Lane will be competing in the state individually. Looking at some of the other teams in the smaller classification, the boys, the Harriman, Colton Waggle. He advances to the state. He was the Region 2 third low medalist. These other teams advanced to the region. Rockwood boys members are Keenan Green, Riley Melton, Jonathan Webster, Josh Snipes. They were the District 4 runner-ups and advanced to the region. The Rockwood girls as well advancing to the region. As runner-ups, they were Samantha Tilley and Whitney Russell. The Midway girls also advancing to the region. Macy Young, Sydney Queener, Amelia Stakely. Also, Harriman girls advanced to the region. So a lot of these...
Boy, they are playing some golf in Roane County, ain't they?
A lot of good golf in our area. Shabri Eskridge, Abigail Roberts, Haley Pelfrey making up the Harriman girls. Also, Oliver Springs girls advanced to had one girl advanced to the region, Maggie Jenkins.
That is so nice, though, because you think about Oliver Springs and Harriman, they've got Emory Golf Club right there. They can go and practice. That's also good for the golf clubs around here that these golf teams are filling up rosters and bringing people in to play. And it surely, as a spectator, you can go watch a golf tournament. I mean, you would think.
Right.
And so, I mean, that's a win-win across the board for everybody involved on that. That'd be entertaining to go watch that.
Did you ever golf at Woody's?
Nope. No, it was closed down before I started shanking them. But
I golfed at Woody's a few times.
Yeah, Emory. I played down out of Emory all the time when I was playing. Now, did you ever play at South Hills before they closed it down back here?
I played at South Hills and even there at Kingston. Was it Southwest Point?
Southwest Point,
played
yeah.
on that one. And I'm not really a golfer. I love to golf, but it's fun when you get out there, but I'm not very good, so...
I took it too serious, man. I spent way too much money on it and never got no better at it. It was awful.
Yeah, it's a tough sport. They make it look easy, you know.
Yeah, every time I hit it, it wanted to go that way.
Also recognizing some other area golfers for Midway, the boys. These two young men advanced to the region. They were Robert Kupfer and Ethan Melton. So congratulations to all these golfers. That's in the smaller class. Going up to the larger class, I don't have any information from Oak Ridge. I apologize for that, but I do have something from Anderson County and Clinton. The Anderson County girls and boys, coached by Will Van Netten and Patrick Levington. AC girls and boys both advanced to the region as runner-ups, and the region will be held next week. Some of the members for Anderson County that I have Emma Neff, Helen Burton, Corey Horton, Nick Darty, Reed Morgan, Ian Neff, Caden Blevins, and Matthew Ogle, all of Anderson County, will be advancing to the region to play next week.
Do you have any idea where these tournaments are? What golf courses are hosting these events?
I'm not sure on that.
That's something I'm going to have to look into.
Willow Creek, maybe, possibly. It seemed like they played last year, the region there, but I'm not sure this year. Now looking at Clinton High School, they have a district champion in girls. Riley Scarborough, district champion for
individual?
Clinton Lady Dragons, yeah, individual district champion. So outstanding right there.
Yes. I mean, she's shooting low every time.
And I'm not mistaken, I believe she may be a senior, I'm not sure, but anyway, that's Riley Scarborough, the district champion. Also, the Clinton boys, Dallas Cole has advanced to the region, and both those youngsters advanced last year to region play. So Coach Matt Kane there at Clinton High School, so hats off to them.
Speaking of Matt, I hope Matt gets to feeling better and gets back with us soon. Been under the weather the last couple weeks, so Matt, if you're listening, we're thinking about you, brother. We hope you're getting feeling better.
Well, I'm glad you brought that up, and hope Matt gets back on his feet and gets back in here. Also, like
it's nice to have both y'all to pick on, instead of just you.
Also, like to thank Chase Clem for all the information for the lower class, Kingston and Harriman and Midways and Rockwoods and all those teams. Those players I mentioned, Chase got me that information, so just like to congratulate all those kids that advanced to the region and to the state.
Hey, if you made it to the state in golf like that, I mean, you're there. You've got a chance. If you shoot low, your four guys go low, you win it all. It's just a one-time around deal. You want to get this right here? Mm-hmm. All right. Go ahead, caller. You on the air?
Yeah, I was just calling in.
Go ahead, John.
Yeah, Sleepy just covered that Clinton Dragon golf.
Yeah, Darren Scarborough's daughter, Riley Scarborough. That's
Yeah, and Dallas Cole. That's good. We don't have our own golf course. But
now, where does Clinton compete? Where do they play? Do you know?
Yeah, Dallas Cole. That's Jeff Cole's daughter.
There you go.
There in Clinton. Are you still there, John? I think Clinton plays their, well, I guess I'm not sure where they play their matches at.
That's what I was thinking. What's down that way?
Maybe at Oak Ridge.
A country club, maybe?
Well, yeah, country club
or Centennial.
Yeah, Centennial. Possibly play there, I'm not sure.
And that place is a bear. Ain't no low scores going to be shot at Centennial. That place eats your lunch.
But it's got we'll just be right back. We're going to go ahead and take our next break. We're only here to 9 o'clock tonight. We tried to get some guests in studios, but we failed to get anybody to come in tonight. But appreciate the calls coming in. Keep them coming in. We'll be here till 9 o'clock. So we'll be right back. You're watching the Locker Room Chat.
Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood is the premier pharmacy service location. Let our professional staff help with all your pharmacy needs, answer your questions, or help with your medication management with our Medicine on Time packaging system. We also offer medication therapy management to ensure you're receiving maximum benefits from your medication. Diabetes care is available with one-on-one consultations, or you can attend one of our monthly diabetes information classes. Live and Let Live Drugstore in downtown Rockwood.
We treat you like family at RMG. Bring your junk, cars, aluminum cans. We'll buy it on the spot and we'll pay you a lot. We treat you like family at RMG. Yeah, we treat you like family at RMG. We treat you like family.
Rome Metals is located just off of Highway 27 between Harriman and Rockwood.
At Earl F. Subaru, providing exceptional customer service is what we do best, and we've got the awards to prove it.
We've been recognized as Tennessee's only 9-time winner of the Love Promise Customer Commitment Award. And again this year, we also earned the Love Promise Community Commitment Award given for enhancing the areas we serve. At Earl F. Subaru, we're more than just a car lot. We're a retailer you can love and one that gives back to local causes. Check out our reviews that come to Earl F. Subaru in Harriman.
Take I-40 to exit 347 in Harriman, or check all our specials at duffsubaru.com.
Muncie Pharmacy is your locally owned hometown pharmacy. They accept most insurances, so why go to the large chain pharmacies when you get better customer service at Muncie Pharmacy? Have a special prescription that needs compounding? Muncie Pharmacy can handle those needs as well. Muncie Pharmacy has a drive-through for your convenience and offers free delivery in the Oak Ridge area. And don't forget the gifts that we have available for all occasions.
Here at Muncie Pharmacy, we take the time to know you and treat you like family.
Football is back, and OEB Law is excited for a season full of big hits, perfect plays, and those nail-biting near misses. If you've been injured, OEB Law will come to your defense and tackle any obstacles blocking you from scoring a full and fair settlement. Call OEB Law 865-546-1111 and turn your wreck into a check.
Welcome back to the Locker Room Chat. Our phone lines are open. You see the numbers there on the screen, and be sure and give us a call. We're here only to 9 o'clock tonight. So if you have a question or comment, please call in. But we're going to go ahead and look at the games coming up for this week.
You want to hold off on that Oak Ridge Clinton till the end? Maybe we can get somebody to call in and talk about that one. We'll hold off on our picks on that one.
Call now. We'll look back on last week a little bit, just run down some scores. Anderson County 42-0 over Howard. Cofield, your Cofield boys, 44-12 over Oakdale. Big win for them. West 22-7 over Oak Ridge. As Queener called in, said West has gone up to number 1 in 5A.
Well, if there's a better team in 5A than Powell, I've yet to see them play.
Yeah, Powell looked pretty good the other night. That Powell Central and West and South Doyle and Oak Ridge, don't count them out. They're much better than their record. They've played some tough teams. They played Farragut. They played Dobbins Bennett and West, and all those teams are ranked. And the Dragons will have their hands full Friday night.
The road to Cookeville goes through DB this year, I believe.
Over Maryville, you think?
It's going to be a DB's for real. From what I've read, and everybody I've heard talk about DB, this is their year. If they're going to win it, this is the year.
I saw them play Oak Ridge. I went to that game, and they look pretty good. They got a lot of returning starters, so we'll see. It's a Kingsport program. I think they're winning this program in the state, but they've never won a state championship. But to beat Maryville, it's you got to have something special, I tell you.
Man, they get every break, it seems like.
They were just well coached, and they got good players, and they're just hard to beat. Farragut plays them this week. Farragut goes to Maryville, so
I wouldn't want to be in those shoes. Going over there, that's a hostile environment over there too.
Farragut might have a good a good shot at knocking them off. It's been a long time since Knoxville school has beat Maryville. I think you have to go back to like year 2000 for a Knoxville team to beat Maryville. So we got another call.
All right.
Go ahead, caller. You're on the locker room chat.
Yeah, this is Stormy Weathers.
How you doing, Stormy?
I'm pretty good now. I was hoping Matt would be on there tonight.
Matt's a little under the weather, and we hope he gets back on his feet and gets back in here. I'm sure he'll have his one team, one fight ready.
Well, after what happened to him last week, it might take a while.
Right, he lost a close game last week, that's for sure.
Yeah, is that your sidekick here? Is that Matt Oakes? Is that right?
No, I'm Eric.
Eric Oakes.
Eric Oakes. Eric.
Yeah.
Eric, you do a great job on this show. I try to watch it every week, and.
Well, I stepped on a few toes there. I had to do some damage control. When I get off the rails, I get myself in trouble, so I got to stay vanilla for a little while. Before I got to pick and choose.
I was telling John a couple of weeks ago. You got some callers taking you to task there about your comments about Anderson County football. I told John I thought you handled that call very well, and that you didn't back down to the caller at all. I don't remember now the specifics of that, but I just remember you handling that call very well, professionally, and you didn't back down from your stance. But you remember what I was talking about, John? You might be able to fill him in on that.
Oh, I mean, I know what you're talking about, and I came across that night like I was maybe picking on the kids a little bit, but I questioned just the ending of the Powell game is the reference that you're talking about, and I just think it could have been handled differently to give them an opportunity to have a chance to kick that field goal, and they didn't get it. So that was it. Just went
right.
It went sideways.
Well, I thought you handled it well, but hindsight's 20/20, and it always will be.
Well, we're gonna keep looking ahead because we got football Friday night.
Are you covering a game this week, Stormy?
Yeah, I'm planning on going over to South Doyle to cover their game against Carter.
South Doyle and Carter, it should be a good matchup. As I was talking about South Doyle earlier in the show, and Carter as well. They're off to a good start. I think they're 4-1, I believe.
They've got a new coach, Justin Presley. He's a graduate of Midway High School, and that's in your all's neck of the woods. And I'm sure he's highly thought of in the Midway area of Roane County. But he has definitely gotten the Carter team off to a good start this year in his first year at Carter High School. We haven't had a chance to cover them yet, but I'm going to try to get over there and see the Hornets against Cherokees Friday night.
Well, if he brings anything with him from Midway that I'm familiar with, they're going to play a tough, hard-nosed brand of football.
I didn't know he was from Midway. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he's a graduate of Midway High School. Played football.
Did he coach anywhere else, or any head coach?
Yeah, he's got really, John. He's got a very unusual resume. He has coached. He coached at. I may get some of this wrong, but he coached. I know he coached at like Siegel High School as an assistant, and then from there, he actually coached in Chicago. as a head coach for 2 or 3 years. And when I was interviewing him for an interview back in the summer, he was telling me about his experiences in Chicago. He actually lived, he told me, on a street that ran beside Wrigley Field. He was within walking distance of Wrigley Field. He coached up there about 3 years at, I believe it was the Lynn Bloom Academy. And
wow.
So, you know, the guy from Midway, I'm leaving out some school I can't remember. Of course, he was an assistant at Siegel down in Middle Tennessee, and went from there to Lynn Bloom Academy in Chicago for 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
His family's from, of course, Midway, and I think his wife is also from East Tennessee. He wanted to get back home, closer to his roots, and he said he'd always had a job. He always had an eye on the job at Carter High School, and had actually applied for that job a couple of times before. Mm-hmm. But he's a young guy. I mean, he's in his early 30s, and he's seems to, in my contact and communication with him, he really likes it at Carter. You know, they've had several coaches at Carter High School in the past 5 or 6 years, maybe 5 or 6 coaches in 5 or 6 years, you know, and you got to have stability in the program. And he seems to really want to be there and stay there for a long time. And I've really enjoyed talking to him. I haven't met him face to face yet, but you know, they're 4-1, and you know, I don't know if they can beat South Doyle. That's going to be a tall task, obviously. But he told me he wanted to bring in kind of a college type atmosphere to the program at the high school program at Carter, and he's young enough to really bring a lot of enthusiasm into the program, which I think he has.
Right, it certainly looks like he has. And Steve, we appreciate you calling in. We have to.
Sure, I understand.
We got up against it here a little bit. And,
well, if you talk to Matt, tell him the Stormy's looking forward to playing him this week, and
is there a
batten down the hatches.
Is there a storm brewing?
There is definitely a storm brewing this coming weekend.
All right, please call back next week.
Thanks a lot, John. Appreciate it. Good talking to you, Eric.
Thank you. Have a great night.
All right.
Now, we're going to have to burn through real quick, huh? Just about.
Go ahead, Dylan. Throw up some region standings. I'll say some other scores here. It's Midway 45, Wartburg 14. You had Kingston over Northview 32-6. Oliver Springs 21, Greenback 7. Harriman 54-12 over Sunbright. A couple other games we picked last week. Campbell County 41-31 over Gibbs, and McCauley 45-31 over Catholic. Matt had the best record last week. He only missed one game. I think I missed 2, and you missed 3. But anyway, here's some of the region standings. We're going to run through them real quick. You see Cofield at the top, Midway, Oliver Springs, and Greenback. So that's a dogfight there. Harriman, Oakdale, still up for grabs, those 4 spots. Let's go up to 2A. Meigs County looks to be the dominant team, number 2 in the state, I believe, unless they have changed. Oneida playing well, 2-0, 4-0 undefeated. And you have Rockwood and Cumberland Gap and Wartburg. Go up to 3A. You got this one, Eric?
All right, we got Alcoa coming in. Alcoa is always good at 4-1, leading the way. Gatlinburg Pittman competitive this year. Kingston still 4-0, and those 3 right there, that's going to be some good football if we get to see it the rest of the way. Pigeon Forge and Scott, they're struggling to fight that 4th place out for the playoff spot, and then Northview Academy and Austin East, you know, they got some improvement to do before next year.
Okay, 4A. You got this one, Eric.
And East Hamilton, Anderson County. Hamilton's, of course, you know, leading the way there, and Anderson County's got room to come back. They can win some of those games, and of course they'll still get their shot at Hamilton. So
East Hamilton lost a close game last week to Red Bank, I saw. So Red Bank's a good team. I think they lost by a field goal.
Yeah.
Let's go to 5A.
There's your region right there.
Powell, West, Oak Ridge, and Fulton right now the top four. Clinton 0-0, so they got a lot to play for. They got a big region games coming up. They can do it on the field. Campbell County and then Carnes. So let's go ahead and get our picks for this week. Gordonsville at Cofield.
I am taking the Yellow Jackets.
Gordonsville 3-2, Cofield 4-0. Give me Cofield. AC at Jefferson County. Jefferson County's 0-5.
They're going to be 0-6 after Friday night.
Coach Riley.
You heard it here first.
Right, I'll take AC as well. Harriman at Rockwood. This is a long rivalry, 101 years, this rivalry. Give me Harriman in an upset.
And I'll take the Tigers of Rockwood.
I don't know if it'd be an upset. Midway at Tellico Plains. Give me Midway.
I'm going to take Tellico Plains on that one.
Kingston at Stone Memorial. Give me the Yellow Jackets to stay undefeated.
Yeah, Kingston big on that one.
Cloudland at Sunbright.
I'm going to take Cloudland.
I'll take Cloudland. Mo West at Mo East.
Give me the West.
Give me West as well. Farragut at Maryville.
Give me Maryville.
Got to go with Maryville. Oakdale at Red Bowling Springs.
Oakdale wins their 4th game of the year Friday night.
Oakdale and Oak Ridge at Clinton.
Oak Ridge.
I have to go with Oak Ridge as well. We appreciate everyone calling in, and join us next week on the Locker Room Chat.
Good morning, church family. We're glad to be back with